Hello, how are you? I hope you're okay. Uh, I'm fine. Thank you. I've hurt my back, and it's very difficult for me to move. But I'll be okay. I'll recover. Next week I'll be fine. Um, Como sabes, he hecho daño a mi espalda y muy difícil para moverme. Pero la semana que viene estaré bien. Not to worry. Okay. So today we're going to do our YouTube class. All right. So let's go. We're going to be on page 64 in the pupils book. Okay, so page 64, that's unit 6, lesson 4. All right. I think in your books, it might be page 66. Okay. So, but have a look. All right. It's this page here. All right. We have a little dialogue to read. Okay. All right. So, yeah, page 66 for you guys. All right, good. Now, what we'll do first, before we start reading, let's just go over some of the structures that we're going to use. Now, in class, we learned how to say phrases using in the future tense. All right, using will. Tomorrow, I will go to the doctor. Next week, we will have normal class. Okay, so phrases in the future using will. All right. Now, we've learned positive phrases, okay, like I will go to school tomorrow, and negative phrases like I won't go to school tomorrow. All right. What we're going to look at today is making questions, okay? Preguntas del futuro, okay? Future questions, all right? So before we start reading, let's open the notebook. Okay. So, all right. So in the notebook, and we're just going to have a look at a few things. All right. So you can copy this in your notebook. Okay. So the title is Future Questions. Okay. So let's all copy this in the notebook. Okay. So it says to make questions about the future, we use this structure. All right. So look here. So we have the phrase, right? The key phrase is do you think? Do you think? And then we have the subject, will, right, for the future, and then the verb, right, or the verb phrase. Here's an example, two examples. Do you think they will win the game? Do you think they will win the game? Or say, do you think he will go to England? Do you think he will go to England? Okay. So these are a couple of example questions. All right. So I'll do the translation for you. When it says, do you think they will win the game? In Spanish, I would say, ¿piensas que ganarán el partido? I think that's okay, right? So you see, it's kind of asking about the future, right? Your opinion about the future. Do you think he will go to England? ¿Piensas que él irá a Inglaterra? All right. So, all right, this is how we make the questions in English. Do you think, subject, will, and the verb. Okay? Good. So let's copy this in the notebook. All right, let's copy this in the notebook. All right. Now remember, you can pause the video if you need time to copy. Okay? All right. And then next we have some future time expressions. Okay, some future time expressions. All right, so I'll show you what we mean by this. All right, so this is a specific kind of expression. All right, and we say in, and then however long the time is, and then the word time, right? So for example, I could say in 10 years time, or in 1 month's time, 3 days time, right? It's like if I say in 10 years time, it's like saying de aquí 10 años. Okay, in 10 years time. All right. So that's a time expression in the future. So I'll give you another quick example of how we can use this in a phrase. Okay. I can say, I will be rich. Oh no, I'll think about it because I won't be rich. I will visit. I will visit China in, say, 6 months time. Okay. I will visit China in 6 months time. All right, and here is our time expression. All right, so it's saying I will visit, yo visitaré. I will visit China in 6 months time. De aquí 6 meses. Okay. So, okay, these are some very easy time expression we can use for the future. Now, one thing to pay attention to, if you look in this first example, it says in 10 years time. Okay, after the time period, 10 years, I put an apostrophe, right? It's kind of like a possessive. Okay, now if you look in this one, the apostrophe is after the S. However, in the next example, 1 month's time, you see I put the apostrophe before the S. Okay, now the reason for this is because if it's singular, right? So here, because it's 1 month, right? If it's singular, it's kind of the same rule as possessives. Then we put apostrophe and then an S, right? So 1 month, because it's only one, is singular, right? If it's plural, right? So if it's so more than one, okay? So here we have 10, right? 10 years. It doesn't matter if it's years, days, or months, right? So in 10 years time, because it's 10 years, so right, so it's more than one, right? So it's plural. That means I put the apostrophe after the S, okay? All right, so just a little detail, all right? If we look at the third example, it says in 3 days time, okay? So three plural, all right? So we put the apostrophe after the S, all right? But if it's singular, if it's one, then we put the apostrophe before the S. Okay, good. So copy all of this in your notebook, all right? If you need time, you can pause the video. Okay, everybody good? Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so once you have this copied, we're going to go back to page 66, okay? So what we'll do, is we'll have a read of this dialogue. Let's have a look. Let's read this dialogue. All right, so we're going to listen and read, okay? All right, are we ready? Okay.
That was a brilliant story. I really admire strong people.
I know. You play a musical instrument too, don't you?
Yes, I play the guitar.
Do you play well?
I'm not bad. Listen to this.
Wow, you're really good. Do you think you'll play in the school concert next month?
Yes, I probably will.
And do you think you'll be famous in 10 years' time?
If I keep on practicing, who knows?
Okay. Very good. Did you listen? Did you read? Did you understand? Okay, excellent. Let's have a look at a couple of things. All right, so here in the dialogue, they ask a couple of questions for the future. All right, let's have a look. Okay, let's look at this question. So Tom says, do you think you will play in the school concert next month? Do you think you will play in the school concert next month? All right, so that's a question about the future. All right, just like we did in the notebook. And then we have another one here. Do you think you will be famous? All right, so do you think you will be famous? And then we have a time expression here, in 10 years' time. Do you think you will be famous in 10 years' time? And he says, if I keep practicing, who knows? Okay. Okay, so these are two examples of questions about the future. Okay, so maybe in your book you can underline. Okay, very good. Okay, so okay, so now that we've had a look at this, we can go to our activity book. Okay, and we'll have some practice. Okay, so let's have a look here through exercise 1 and 2. All right. Now, okay, so we can do this all together. Okay. Now this is in your activity book on page 61. All right, página 61. 61. All right, so that's unit 6, lesson 4. All right. Okay. So, first exercise. All right, we're going to make the questions. Okay, just like we did. Okay, just like here. Okay. So you have, do you think, subject, will, and the verb. All right. So we have all the words here, and we just have to put the words in the correct order to make a question. Okay. So this first one, this example, it says, do you think you will watch TV tonight? All right. Okay. Let's have a look at number 2. I'm going to try and do it on the screen here. Okay, so number 2. All right. Now, if you're not sure, remember, you can always look back again in your notebook, right? Just to check. All right. So have a look. All right. So how do we start the question? How do we start the question? When we say, do you think? Do you think? Then we need the subject. So that's the person. Do you think? The subject here is you. Do you think you? Right, so that's our subject, and then we need will, and then the verb, right? So, do you think you will, and the verb here is be, and then famous, okay? So, do you think you will be famous? Okay, just like we did in the notebook. Do you think you will be famous? Okay, let's try the next one. So again, the same thing, all right? Start off the same. Do you think? Do you think? And then we need the subject. So I think that's you again. Do you think you will? And then what's the verb? There it is, have. Do you think you will have pizza? And then the time. Tonight. Tonight is esta noche. Okay. So there we go. Do you think you will have pizza tonight? All right. Just like here. Do you think you will have pizza tonight? Okay. Very good. Let's have a look at number 4. Okay. So same thing, number 4. Do you think? It's very easy. Yeah? Do you think? And then we need the subject. What subject here? I think it's you again. Do you think you will? And then what's the verb? And the verb to be. Do you think you will be a detective? Do you think you will be a detective? Okay. So make sure you have all these questions written correctly. All right. All right. So, do you think you will be famous? Do you think you will have pizza tonight? Do you think you will be a detective? Okay. All very easy. All a similar structure. Okay. Do you think? All right. So, if you have all of this correct in your book, then we can go to the next exercise. Okay. Very good. All right. So that's the first one. Okay, now exercise 2. In exercise 2, we're going to practice our time expressions. Okay, so if you look in our notebook again, all right, so this is very easy. We just have to put, all right, in the time period, okay, with the apostrophe in the right place, and then the word time. Okay, just like these examples, in 10 years' time. So in exercise 2 in the book, it gives you the time period, okay? You see here 1 hour, 10 minutes. And we just have to put the time expression at the end of the phrase, okay? So you see in the example, it says 1 hour, right? And we have the phrase, I might go to the park, all right? And then we just make the time expression in 1 hour's time, okay? Just like in the notebook, in 1 hour's time, okay? And because it's 1 hour, we put the apostrophe before the S. Okay, so let's have a look at the others. All right. So, number 2, all right, so we have the time period, 10 minutes, all right, and the phrase is, this class will finish, all right, so we have to make the expression. So, let's have a look again in our notebook just to check. So, we say in, all right, so we'll put in, and then after in, we put the time period. All right, so the time period is 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes. Now we have to put an apostrophe, right? Because it's 10 minutes, so it's plural, we put the apostrophe after the S. Okay, so in 10 minutes, and then the last word is time, right? In 10 minutes, time. Okay, easy. Okay, let's have a look at number 3. So it says, now it's 3 months. Okay, and our phrase is, the weather will be hotter. All right, and we'll just do exactly the same in, and then our time period, 3 months. Because it's 3 months, right? So it's plural, so we put the apostrophe after the S. In 3 months' time. Okay, good. All right, we'll do number 4 together, and you can do numbers 5 and 6 on your own, okay? So number 4, all right, so exactly the same, right? So the time period is 1 year. So it says, I will go to another school, all right, and we do exactly the same in 1 year. Now, because it's 1, it's singular, we're going to put apostrophe before the S, right? So I'll put apostrophe S here, right? Because it's 1. In 1 year's time. Okay, easy. Okay, on your own, I want you to do numbers 5 and 6, okay? Numbers 5 and 6. Okay. Now, you can pause the video while you finish the exercise, okay? All right, all finished? Fantastic. Let's have a look at our answers. So, all right. So 3 months time. Now, I don't mind if you write the number, as like as an actual number, or if you write the word, right? Either one is fine by me, right? So, so yeah. Anyway, so number 5, 3 years. I won't drive a car in 3 years' time. Now, if you put just the number 3 here, that's fine. That's okay. In 3 years' time. Okay. Did you get the apostrophe after the S? Yeah, because it's 3. Very good. All right, and the last one, number 6, the bell will ring 30 seconds. All right, so the answer is in 30 seconds time. Again, if you put the number 30, like a 30, that's fine, no problem. Okay, 30 seconds time. Remember, the apostrophe is after the S, right? Because the quantity is plural, right? It's 30. So in 30 seconds time. All right. So, okay, have a look. Make sure you have all of the correct answers. Okay. Make sure you have all the correct answers. All right. All correct? Excellent. Okay. Okay, so what we can do now, okay, so if we have exercises 1 and 2 finished and corrected in the activity book, then we can finish the class for today. Okay, so as a recap, all right, we should have all of this copied in the notebook, all right, so some future questions, all right, with the structure and the examples, and the future time expressions, okay, again, with the structure and the examples here, all right, so make sure you have all of that copied correctly in the notebook. And in the activity book, we should have exercise on page 61, we should have exercises 1 and 2 finished and correct. Okay, right, very good. So if you have all of this, then we can finish the class for today. All right. I apologize that I'm not there a couple of days this week. Next week, I will be back. Hopefully, my back will feel better. All right, and I'll be able to move. All right, so, but anyway, any questions at all, you can message, anything you don't understand, you can either speak to me in class next week, or you can email me or WhatsApp me. Okay? All right. Excellent work, everybody. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.